Hi everyone, I am Richard Vigorelli, well his stomach at least, and I'm going to be talking to you a little bit today about food because, well, I am your expert in everything TCM. And one of the things with TCM is food. It's a little important. Even in the old Western medicine, a guy by the name of Hippocrates said that if you want to know what diseases you have, tell me what is on your plate. So, why am I doing this right now? And also, you can't see my face, just my hands and some bread. Well, I'm going to be making a sandwich while I talk to you a little bit about food, because we are moving into the season where there is a lot of, eating. Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up, Hanukkah is coming up, and a few other winter festival feast holidays. Now the reason for all of these is the way our culture grew up. You see, we grew up in a period where food wasn't actually that easy to come by. It was actually expensive, difficult to grow, not easy to make, and it had a nasty habit of rotting before we could get to it. So we invented ways to make sure that the food we had didn't disappear from us. Created things like pickling and salt washes and various other means of preservation. Now the reason I bring that up is because we still use them. But you see, here's the thing. We have too much food as it is. And we have a nasty little habit of eating way too much of it. What I'm making for you right now is my lunch. And yes, these are pea pods that I'm placing on the sandwich. It's really quite good. You should try it. So, the reason why I know we eat too much is because one of the things that I treat a lot of is something called food stagnation. What is food stagnation, you ask? Well, food stagnation is that big, stuffy, heavy feeling that you get after you have something like this. It usually comes in either from too large of a meal or eating far too fast.
So why is that a problem? Well, it means you don't digest your food. One of the common side effects of food stagnation is bloated feeling in the stomach and intermittent gassiness, sudden rush of diarrhea, things like that. Well, I'm going to have lunch and I'll get right back to you and we'll discuss a little bit more, okay? I'll see you in about 5-10 minutes. From my perspective. From yours, 10 seconds. See you in a bit.
Alright, I am back, and now that you have my gorgeous face to look at, I am Richard Vigorelli, your guide for everything Chinese medicine. And this is an apple. Last bit of my lunch. So, as I was saying, when you get food stagnation, you're not digesting the food, and two big ways you get food stagnation is eating too much and not chewing your food, even if you are eating an appropriate amount. So, what to do? Well, first step, chew your food. Chew about 30 times a bite. Now I know I didn't chew 30 times when I bit into this apple. I'm
very well aware of that. But I also know a couple of other things, such as you need to exercise, you need to move around, you need to walk. It's one of the biggest parts of exercise. Everybody says, no, go for a run. No, actually, you need to walk. It's much better for you. Less impact on your joints. It also stimulates this thing called peristalsis, which is the movement of stuff through your gut. So, now, chewing a lot will actually help you eat less, because the food is breaking down in your stomach much better, because it's already primarily broken down. Digestion starts right here in the mouth. Now, as far as eating too much, why is that a concern? Well, what is the one thing everybody does at Thanksgiving? They eat way too freaking much food, whatever that food is, and then they blame their sleepiness on the turkey. That is not correct. See, yes, turkey does contain tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid that is required to make various proteins. Tryptophan itself does not make you sleepy, because there's plenty of other foods that have tryptophan in it, and much more so than turkey. Some of them are leafy greens, and you don't see anybody passing out after having some broccoli or some Brussels sprouts. In fact, the sandwich I had was turkey. And I'm not very sleepy, am I? I'm wide awake. So, why is it after Thanksgiving people fall asleep? It's because they eat way too much. All the blood is gone from here all the way down to here, because the digestive system needs some reinforcements, so to speak, in order to digest the food. So, that is another aspect of food stagnation. If you notice, after Thanksgiving dinner, you have this massive, big belly. I gotta pop my pants because you ate way too much. At any meal, you should be no more than 2/3 full. 75% on a push. And that should be it. You should not completely fill that stomach of yours, no matter how good the food is, because it's not good for you. So, if you do that, you don't get the bloated feeling. You don't get the sudden need to evacuate everything 30 minutes after the meal, because the body's trying to reset itself. Well, let's say you do anyway. Let's say you eat way too much, eat way too fast, and you get this feeling. Well, when you go to sleep, if you sleep, you're going to have some really interesting dreams, right? Another part of food stagnation. True story. Well, I get food stagnation every once in a while. The little black thing you see behind me is my kitty Oscar. He's my bud. So, what I use is some stuff called pochai pills. Comes in a little vial. They look like bullets. He is not supposed to be up there. And you take the whole vial, and it takes care of the problem. Tastes terrible, but gets rid of the problem. Now, it's okay to need it. You can actually get it online. Totally fine. So, as these holidays come up, chew your food, eat sparingly, and then enjoy the food. It's okay. And then as stuff starts to come up and you get the sweet food that we get thanks to our wonderful American culture, it's okay to enjoy that. Just don't enjoy a lot of it. Start off in Halloween, continues on till middle of February, middle of March. when it comes to eating the sugary food, you should always do it sparingly. Why do we like sweet? Because everything on your body runs on sugar. Everything. Especially your brain. Your brain, that is its only fuel. It has to run on sugar. The protein and the fat is just kind of lubricate the gears. But the actual nuts and bolts runs on sugar. But sugar's bad, isn't it? Yeah, in high amounts. Throws off your pH. Messes with your pancreas, messes with your cells stop accepting insulin, and your blood turns sweet and sugary. That's called diabetes. Well, you won't get that if you don't have a candy bar every single day. You won't get that if you don't have cakes every single day, cookies, all this. But I know a lot of you are saying, but I deserve a treat because my life is hard. Darn it. Okay. I have candy bar, ice cream once a month at most. And then I just kind of leave it alone. Because I get my sugar requirement in other things like, fruit, vegetables. Hey, you saw me put some sweet peas on my sandwich. Yeah, those count as sugar. So, completely cutting sugar out of your diet will really screw you up. However, completely cutting out unnecessary desserts and treats won't. Once in a while is okay, but every day, every week, not a wise idea. Because all of that sweet screws up your spleen. Now, I talked about spleen before, my previous video. It makes it more difficult because it's a sudden rush of power rather than a slow burn like this. So, if you're really concerned about gaining weight at this time of year, watch what you're eating. Try not to succumb to all the office food, the cakes, the donuts, the brownies, the cookies, the candy, all of that stuff that people just love to do in our culture. Don't succumb to it. Have one, no more. And then just make sure you have yourself a nice, warm meal 2-3 times a day, and you'll be fine. Make sure you chew your food and don't eat too much. And you're not going to gain as much weight. It's actually very natural for you to gain weight in the winter because you're a human. Humans do that in the winter because we're trying to stay warm, even if you live in Los Angeles. Okay? So, I am Richard Vigorelli, and that concludes my little rendition on food. I'll probably do another one down the line as to what to eat, what not to eat, variation of seasons, blah, 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 blah. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments, or you can visit my website at vigintmed.com. That stands for Vigorelli Integrated Medicine.com. And please do me a solid, hit that big red subscribe button below if you're new to my channel. Back next time with something else. But until then, stay healthy, take care, and happy holidays.